Well, hello and welcome again to River Valley Farm. If you couldn't tell by the barn, we're back to our friendly little 484 here. And we have our fuel bowl. One thing I've noticed already right off the bat, and of course I've already started on how to deal with this situation, best I can anyway, is that hole is still too big. But anyway, as long as the length is good, we should be able to make something happen here. And as long as the length is good, we should be able to make something happen here. So come on, get up through there. And that is much more acceptable than what it was the other day. So we're going to call this workable at this point in time. You can see that it's actually got, it's not past the threads, and we still have a sealing ring that needs to go here. Set this thing up so maybe I'm not just talking to you anyway. So we still have a sealing ring that needs to go here, and then also here, and we may have to put one here. So anyway, what I'm probably going to end up doing is just finding a piece of old inner tube or something and cutting me a gasket out of that. That'll be probably the best thing I could do at this point in time, or actually a couple of gaskets out of a piece of old inner tube, because this one has seen its better days. And then still need something to seal under my nut on top, which will probably be this piece, which is supposed to go around here to seal the bowl. But I'm tired of not having my tractor, so we're gonna make the damn thing run today. I could send that back and be like, this is the wrong one, and then they could send me another one, and so on and so forth. But anyway, that's enough. We're just gonna make this one work. As I said, I purchased this from Bates Corporation. There's the part number right there if anybody needs one. So yeah, purchased from Bates Corporation. As if I say Bates Incorporated, forget that, it's Bates Corporation. Okay, I do that once in a while. Anyway, so next up, I'm gonna rig up something so we can get this fuel filter working. Then we're gonna bleed the thing out, and we will go from there. Really shouldn't be that big a deal to get it bled out, because if you couldn't tell, since I bumped something, it gravity feeds really well from the tank. So first things first, though, we got to get that fuel filter figured out. So well, let me go find something to work with on that, and we will do something here in a minute. Hopefully we'll start the tractor. That'd be really awesome, because I would need to grade the driveway. I need to do some other stuff. I'm hopefully going to get lime here in the next couple of days, so I can spread the lime work ground, plant some hay crop, and go on. So got to get something done here. Okay, so here we have what we made here. If I can get you on the right spot, that is. So that's literally just two pieces of an inner tube that I had laying around here, and that's what we're going to attempt first for a gasket for this thing. So what I did was I took a razor knife and cut out around the edge of, peel it back apart here a little bit, I guess. Cut around the edge of this washer here to make my outside diameter, and then I found a nut, which this is actually 10 millimeter, I think, or 10 millimeter was close enough. And then I just set this in the center of my rubber with a nut underneath of it, tapped on it, made my center hole so that it's nice and tight on the bolt. So next up, I get to, I didn't bring my tripod, but anyway, next up we're going to fit the bowl, which let me go ahead and do that. Now, set the bowl on here, like so. And then, got to figure out which one of these gaskets works the best in here, because they're all a little bit different. I would have to say that one though. So then I'm going to have to put that together. Like I said, I'm going to take this piece of rubber and use it for my top seal underneath of the nut here. And we'll go from there. All right, so we got my little piece down here assembled. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it doesn't matter as long as it doesn't leak. I hooked up this line that was bleeding all over the place here. And anyway, it's already, I don't know if you can tell by looking at that bowl or not. I could see it, but you may not be able to. It is actually bleeding out through the return line right now because the tank's full. So next on the list is turn on the fuel back here. Wherever we accomplish that at. Now this is the crossover line between this side of the tank and that side of the tank there. So we got to turn this one on. Well, we ain't got to turn this one on to bleed it, but at some point I'm going to run this thing low on fuel and I'm going to be mad when I don't turn this back on. So anyway, we got to do this. Yes. Oh, excuse me. This is the crossover tube here between this low point and that low point in the tank. And this one here is the return line. This line right here is the return line. And then over here we have the, this is the crossover line here. Let's open that up. Which it looks wet. I don't know why that valve looks wet. We're gonna have to figure that out though. Probably just needs that packing tightened up a little bit. But anyway, we open this valve fully once it gets all the way out, like so. And then this is the supply line right up here. Hopefully you guys can see that. I didn't bring my light back here, but anyway, we're gonna open this one up. And then it should be just as simple as loosening this bleeder right here, fill the filter up, and then we should be able to take, I don't think there's an actual bleed screw on top of the pump, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. The return line here should probably have already filled the pump since it was dribbling into the filter, but we will go ahead and crack. I'll turn the light back on so we can see something. This banjo bolt right here just to make sure that we have fuel. So now, next step, I'm going to use a crescent wrench. Shame on me. Actually, no, I'm not going to use a crescent wrench because it's too tight for that. So we're going to go grab a 7/16, I believe that is. If it's not that, it's probably that. I don't know if you guys can hear the chainsaws running in the background or not, but people are still trying to clean up after that storm the other day. It's 7 days now. People have been working on cleaning that up. So anyway, it's still kind of a mess down below there, but anyway, I guess that's to be expected, right? So you can see my drips have increased. We're starting to flow fuel back into the filter, and now the only thing we can do is wait. It's going to take a few minutes, but it will bleed the system out and not cause too much grief in the process, which is really nice because, excuse me again, I guess I shouldn't have had that jerky. So many things are not made so that you can just bleed the thing out like this. They forgot about gravity. I guess it would be at some time in history. Well, anyway, let's take this bleeder loose. Well, I suppose I should say in theory that's how this is supposed to work. Because I should already have fuel bubbling up into that one, but I'm not getting it yet. Might have to put a little air to the tank and help it out some. I can do that. Make sure my valves are on all the way here, which they should be. That needs tightened. That's why that was leaking. All right. No, we're getting some. Yeah, it's filling up. It's filling up. So anyway, I'll let this thing sit and do its deal here for a little bit. As long as it doesn't waste too much of my time, we'll be all right. But I'll get back to you in a minute when we go to start it. All right, so filter is bled. We're good there. We've got us some fuel running this place and that place. So in theory, should be able to tighten these up and it should start up, right? We hope anyway. I hope anyway. You guys might laugh. I don't know. I'm probably going to burn it to the ground if it doesn't start. But anyway, let's see what it does now. Okay. So we got some there. Okay. So number 2 has got a miss to it still. I mean, I ain't got the throttle hooked up, no wonder. I just get sprayed down here somewhere. Thought I had all these tight, but maybe not. There's a drip coming from right there. Okay. All right, let's try it again, see what it does now. Got a definite miss. That ain't what I wanted to hear. But it definitely doesn't smoke as much now as it used to. Can't say as I complain about that too much. Definitely got a miss though. And it's on number 2. Which, if you followed this at all, I moved this injector from number 1 to number 2, or this nozzle I should say. It's not technically an injector, but I moved it from number 1 to number 2, and back when I did a valve adjustment on this thing, and well, it's starting to wake up there now, but yeah, we've definitely got something going on with that number 2 injector. But I mean, at least it starts now. Maybe it ain't number 2 injector. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. Main thing is we're not showing any air bubbles in that filter. Come around here and check this one. And no air bubbles in that one either that I can see anyway. So would you look at that nasty stuff running out of there? I wouldn't like that before, I don't think. But then of course now maybe that number 1's firing correctly, it's melting some stuff out of there. That's a high possibility, I guess, as it does appear to be coming out of the exhaust and not anywhere else, so that's good. Oh yeah, we're sounding a little better all the time the more it warms up, so I wonder if I don't just have something goofy in that number 2 nozzle. Find the right lever down here. I don't know, we can live with it being cold-blooded for now, I guess. I'm gonna have to look into a nozzle for it, put in a new nozzle on number 2, see if I can get the whole thing this time rather than just a tip, because they sold me, or well, when I put the injectors in it for the other guy, it was just the tips basically. I don't need the tips, I need the whole thing, it looks like, so we'll have to go with that. But anyway, for now, folks, well, I guess I need to shut it down, hook up the alternator belt. That'd probably be a good thing to do. And then we're going to take it and see if we can't grade some driveway with it, I think, because the driveway is a friggin' mess after all the rain we had. So, hey, thanks for watching. We'll be back one of these days, hopefully here soon, because like I said, I need to get some lime spread, like now. All right, so footnote, just got home. I was able to pull the, let's see, I tracked my mist down to the number 2 injector or nozzle, whichever one I want to call it today. Took it out, took it apart, cleaned it, put it back together. That solved that problem. Then we still had the acting like it was bouncing off the rev limiter issue. Ended up pulling the fuel line off the tank, and sure enough, the valve was packed full of crud, let's call it. I mean, it looked like, I don't even know really what it looked like. It was just crud. I didn't take any pictures or anything cool like that. I was irritable and just trying to get it done. So anyway, tractor runs good now. It smokes a little bit more than I'd like it to, but I'm not going to mess with it just yet because it runs, so I'm not going to screw with it. We got work to do. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.